J. Hostler, trooper with the Ohio State Highway Patrol, was killed in an automobile accident while on patrol near DeGraff, Ohio on September 22nd, 1956. He was stationed at the Bell Fountain Post at the time of his death. Patrolman Hostler was survived by his wife, who was expectant. West Liberty Police Chief and Marshal Sherman W. Ricketts was shot and killed in front of the Presbyterian Church in West Liberty on June 29, 1962. After responding to a call to check a man walking on Reynolds Street at approximately 2:45 a.m. Marshal Ricketts observed a suspicious vehicle in front of the church, and upon investigating, the suspect opened fire. As soon as Marshal Ricketts approached him, before dying, Marshal Ricketts returned fire, striking the suspect. The suspect, a 25-year-old Michigan parole violator, had broken into a nearby residence and was driving a car he had stolen 12 days earlier at Grand Rapids, Michigan. During the gunfight, Marshal Ricketts was shot multiple times by the suspect, and a murder trial testimony revealed that his killer had turned up in the village by accident, taking a wrong turn. Marshal Ricketts' murderer, Earl Ralph Jacobs, was convicted of murder, sentenced to life in prison on November 8, 1962. Jacobs remains in custody in the Ohio Department of Rehabilitation and Correction. Bell Center Police Chief Marshal Murray Wilson Griffin was killed on July 5, 1986. Chief Griffin was shot and killed with his own weapon after responding to a domestic disturbance call. Other responding officers found him shot to death and the female complainant stabbed to death. A suspect was arrested approximately 4 years later. Deputy George Rockwell was shot and killed from ambush as he assisted then Sheriff John McCracken was serving a levy at a farm in Zane Township. The sheriff spoke to the subject named on the levy, attempted to have him post bond. The man refused. The sheriff enforced by levying several horses from the man's farm. As they led the horses from the farm, the suspect obtained a rifle and shot the deputy from behind from approximately 60 yards. A doctor was summoned to the residence intended to Deputy Rockwell, who was moved into the suspect's home. The following night, the man who shot him was arrested and charged with murder. He escaped from jail but was recaptured. He was convicted of second-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison. He was pardoned by then the governor of Ohio in 1891, but with the condition that he moved to California and not return to Ohio. Deputy Rockwell had previously served with the Bell Fountain Police Department as night watchman. He was survived by his wife and 4 children. This took place back in 1878. Logan County felon law enforcement officers. John Anderson, Pat Archer, Richard Archer, Thomas Arms, Harry Bailey, Chuck Bewley, Bobby Boysel, Lawrence Brenner, Jay Busey, Steve Busey, William Busey, William Carnes, Donald Cocaine, Judy Conley, Thomas Cooksey, James DeLong, Michael Durr, Bill Edwards, Wilbur Elliott, Edwin Mike Ewing, Edward Balder, U.C. Felty, Fred Forrester, Richard Garrison, Cleo Garwood, Louis Gibbons, Dave Godwin, William Hampton, Paul Hannum, John Harvey, Floyd Headings, Gary Hellendauer, Roxy Tracy, Paul Hildreth, Maggie Hill, Robert Hill, Karen Hoffer, Donald Horn, Sam Hostetler, Russell Huffman, William Hurley, Wayne Jackson, Donald Jenkins, Jack Johns, William Kendall, Max King, Sonny Lambert, John Lamborn, Frank Lane, Kathy Levan, Lynn Louise Marker, Eldon Nickel, Gerald Nickel, Thomas Noble, Chester Norton, Raymond Bud Osborne, Al Payton, Gail Palmer, Carl Crosser, Dean Ransbottom, Harlan Reams, Randy Rhodes, Murray Ricker, Fred Robinson, George Rockwell, Chuck Rupert, Victor Scott, Luis Skidmore, Stephen Skidmore, Robert Slaughter, John Smith, Raymond Smith, Neil Smith, Donald Souders, Lou Simpson, Dave Stidham, John Sullivan, Robert Summers, Keith Sutton, Charles Titus, Paul Wallace, Karen Weaver, James Russ Weiser, Lester Wells, James Wilson, Donald Woodruff,